I'm Ty Hernandez in New York, and this is an ABC News Digital special report. Armed pirates have kidnapped 2 Americans, pulling them off an oil supply vessel about 15 nautical miles off the coast of Nigeria. With all the latest on the attack and the location of the kidnapped men, we're joined from the Pentagon by ABC's Louis Martinez. Hi, Louis.
Hi, Ty.
So who are these men and what were they doing?
All we know is their job titles, Ty, because we don't really have that much information. We know that this is the ship's master, which is basically the captain of the ship, as well as an engineer. They're the only 2 Americans on board this ship. This, as you said, a supply ship that was operating about 15 miles off the coast of Nigeria. The other crew members of various nationalities were left on board, and what we're told is that the 2 Americans were taken by the pirates back to land. So it's quite a difficult situation for these 2 individuals who were just operating offshore, doing what they would normally be doing, supplying vessels operating in the area. The area is quite well known for having oil rigs as well, and then they're set upon by these pirates to take control of the ship and then go back to land with the 2 Americans on board.
Now, we should stress these are not U.S. Navy sailors. They're simply people working on that ship. We've been hearing a lot about piracy lately. What, if anything, is different about this particular situation?
Well, this is a situation involving Americans, and you hardly ever hear about Americans being kidnapped as part of piracy hijackings, either it being on the west coast of Africa or on the east coast of Africa. Obviously, the waters of East Africa have gotten a lot of attention in recent years, particularly a lot of attention right now with the movie Captain Phillips, where the portrayal of Captain Richard Phillips, who was taken by Somali pirates for several days back in 2009. So what's very interesting here is that it's focusing attention on the piracy that's on the other coast of Africa, the west coast of Africa, what's known as the Gulf of Guinea. Now, while there's been a significant drop in the number of pirate attacks and actually successful attacks on the east coast of Somalia, there has been a similar spike in the on the west coast of Africa. Actually, the International Maritime Bureau now says that those waters off of West Africa are some of the most dangerous in the world, and that's where you're seeing most of the pirate attacks taking place right now. What you're seeing is small vessels. Like I said, there are oil rigs out there. There are ships that are operating close to land. So there's opportunity there for pirates to go and either rob them of what they have, or in some cases take hostages, as they have here in this situation.
Surprising that there wasn't perhaps more security in place. We are hearing about security companies stepping forward and bringing armed guards aboard these vessels, and it seems to make a big difference.
It's made a huge difference off the east coast of Somalia. We'll remember that the Somali piracy really took off like around 2006, 2008. There were hundreds of people who were being held hostage by Somali pirates. And then you saw the international navies stepping up. You had U.S., Spanish, even the Chinese navies patrolling the waters off the coast of Eastern Africa. And you saw drops in piracy after that. But a bigger impact, as you said, was greater awareness on the part of private shipping companies that they had to bring aboard either private security firms, improve security on board their vessels, and the combination of factors is what's really led to the reduction in piracy off the east coast of Africa. Not similar situation in the west coast. There is much greater activity in the Gulf of Guinea. It's very active areas, and so they're just greater targets of opportunity because you have much smaller vessels that are operating there.
So what happens next? You are an American, or your loved one is an American who's just been kidnapped by pirates. Who helps you secure their release? Does the U.S. government help you? Would private contractors help you make contact?
Well, it's a combination of both. Typically what happens when there is a ransom involved, now we don't know if that's the case here, but when there are ransoms involved, what the pirates do is, and it's very well organized actually, they make contacts with insurance firms who then make payouts to return whoever is held hostage. So sometimes this can involve financial transactions that are kept quiet, and the way that this is all done is that it's kept under the table, so you have very low visibility, very low public awareness that something is actually taken place. Right now in this situation, of course, these 2 Americans involved, and there is the U.S. government is involved in the fact that we're told that the FBI in New York has the lead for the case. We talked to defense officials here at the Pentagon who said that this is really a law enforcement matter right now, given that these 2 individuals were taken back to land, presumably to the Nigerian coast.
Interesting to see if that helps or complicates matters for the families who certainly want their loved ones back. ABC's Louis Martinez, thank you so much for joining us from the Pentagon with this chilling story. You've been watching an ABC News Digital Special Report. I'm Ty Hernandez in New York.